What's poppin', everybody? It's Decidueye Today I'm gonna show you guys a deck based on the new Decidueye EX from Perfect Order. This deck is more of a formality, to be honest, because I don't think this. Well, I think this Pokemon is pretty good. It's the fact that in order to get into the good position to use it, it's pretty difficult because it requires Vivillon here, and it's another stage too. And even though we have the Forest of Vitality, because Decidueye needs this Vivillon so much, like it's absolutely mandatory, or else you can't attack. I mean, you're gonna build the deck so you can attack with one energy, and then if you can't, you're gonna be stuck. So you gotta run a lot of these. So even with the Forest of Vitality, I mean, we gotta burn a lot of space. So this deck is not gonna be very consistent. I can't find a great way to make it as consistent as it should be. So yeah, very prone to disruption. It's got a lot of similar problems of other grass decks I've toyed around with. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, this Decidueye EX is a standard stage 2 with 320 HP. I wish it was 330, but I guess we'll live with it. You can buff it even further when we put the growing energy on it, so 340 it's a bit better. And if your opponent has exactly 4 cards in their hand, ignore all colorless energy in the cost attacks used by this Pokemon. So basically you can do Crushing Arrow for just one energy. And 240 for 1, and then an auto discard with this attacks effect is pretty good. You can't complain about that. And Vivillon, they pretty much made this to work with the Decidueye. Build it yourself. With Grand Wing, once during your turn, you can have your opponent shuffle their hand and they draw 4. What would have made this deck so much better is if this worked pretty much like a judge. They draw 4, you draw 4 as well. That was going to be much better. You know, Marshadow, that kind of thing. Marshadow let you draw as well, am I right? Or maybe I'm wrong. But something like that, like Judge, it's the best example. You draw 4, I draw 4. Because then we can kind of get a little bit of consistency too, depending on. And if you can do this every turn, if you thin your hand, you don't got much going on, you can draw, it becomes pretty good. I guess maybe it could have been too broken, but I think Metagross EX used to do this in EX Power Keepers, am I right? Or maybe you picked the player that was going to shuffle and draw 4. I don't remember, forgive me. Most people don't even know about this Metagross EX I'm talking about. But yeah, that's Vivillon. It has terrible HP at 120 as a stage 2, usual stuff. The 1 retreat is good enough. And then blow through, it's going to do 120 if there's a stadium in play. So for 1, we'll take it actually. It can be a little bit decent. At least I can put some damage if I have to use Vivillon. And that's basically the Pokemon, to be honest. It's just a 4-4 line of Decidueye, this Dartrix, and then I do the 70 HP Rowlet. Lets you draw 1, which can be handy, but maybe even more important is the 70 HP, so we can get this with the Pofin. And then 4 of the Scatterbug, run the 1 with Call for Family, so it can help us set up maybe. We'll need it. The other one has 40 HP too, so they're both ass in terms of that. The Spupa that can switch and do damage, even though it still sucks. And the Vivillon, a 4-3-3 line for these guys. I would want to do like just a 3-3-2-2, but if this goes down, I mean, if you don't have a Vivillon down, you can't do anything with Decidueye. So I thought we got to make the sacrifice. The last 2 Pokemon is just going to be this Shaman. Bench protection, I guess it can help, especially once again, if we're going to protect the little guys. Plus, this is a grass Pokemon, so it helps with Bugnet, I guess. Maybe if I'm not going to reveal anything, might as well reveal this. Okay. So 24 Pokemon, very, very simplistic. And the 9 grass energies too, 4 of them growing energy to buff our HP. And that's about it. I guess maybe you could say, oh, drop another energy for something else. Maybe, but I want to have at least 9. I mean, we're not even running Switch, so you never know. Maybe if they get me stuck, I can retreat, or who knows. And for the last stuff, the 27 trainers, yeah, very, very anemic, because we gotta run so many Pokemon. I got the 4 Pofin. Since we have enough small Pokemon now, this is the best way to get a bunch of them easily, fill up our bench. The Pokepats, get all the evolution Pokemon, pretty much get everything except Decidueye EX. That I will have to just see or reveal with the bug catching net. Pretty random, but because I'm running so many grass Pokemon combined with the grass energies, this is a bit too good to pass up. I'm not the type of guy that just maxes this out in any grass deck like other people do. I see the problems with this card, especially the way I built my decks. I don't want to leave things to luck. Yeah, if things go perfectly for you all the time, then yeah, you run it in force. But things aren't supposed to go perfectly all the time. You use it, and every time you use it, you reveal what you want. So I'd rather have stuff like Pad and even this Buddy Buddy Pofin, which I know in the beginning, it gets me 2 basic Pokemon guaranteed. I don't have to just risk it. Sometimes it'll give you an energy. You don't want an energy. I mean, it's good that it can get you energies too, because we don't have any energy searching, but you mainly want to collect your Pokemon with this. So the best thing it can really give me is Decidueye when I need it. That's about it. Decided to do this instead of Ultra Ball. Okay, I got the 1 rare candy. Once again, if I don't see the stadium, it's the sort of same idea with Torterra. In Torterra, I did 2. In this one, we have even less space to work with, so I'm doing 1 rare candy. We can get the quick stage 2 evolution this way too. And then the aspec of choice is going to be Scoop Up Cyclone. You know, I thought about putting the unfair stamp in here because a deck like this really needs it, but that actually does conflict with Decidueye. This is one of those decks that you can't use that, because you're going to use it to mess with your opponent's hand and you draw. But then if you got to use Vivillon to put them at 4 again, then, you know, it's stupid. So you can't do the stamp. So the next best thing here is the Scoop Up Cyclone once again. Since we can scoop up the Decidueye, it only needs 1 energy to attack, and with the forest, we can just evolve instantly. So it makes too much sense. And then pretty much that's it. All the trainers, not too many, just a lot of stuff played in 4s. Speaking of 4s, the stadium, max out the Forest of Vitality. We can evolve really quickly through this card. That's about it. Gonna work as a counter stadium too. And then the supporter cards, standard stuff or maybe bad stuff in the eyes of others. I max out the Lily, the best supporter card all of us need to run now. Max out the Charon, just a solid draw 3, no conditions, no bullshit, no Iris, you know, worry about having a big hand. Although sometimes that does work out better. She works out better. But I'm doing this, and then I'm also doing the double petrol. Just get anything. Sky is more miss than a hit in this deck compared to Torterra, but again, I'm just putting it, get what we need, only get 1 card. I mean, we don't really need a lot. We need a lot to set up, but once we set up, we don't need much to keep going. It's just, this guy just needs an energy, and you need Vivillon alive, that's it. So if your opponent doesn't mess with your bench, then if you get this out and then you don't got much else going on, if you can just attack and evolve into Decidueye at least, you'll be good to go. Anyway, and then the last card is this Boss's Orders. Use it at the right time, win the game. What I always say, disruption. This is the deck, guys. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if you think it doesn't look very consistent, you're not completely wrong. It's rough. I mean, like I've said, we have to burn up a lot of space for Vivillon here, just because you absolutely need it. If your opponent can pull all day long, what they're gonna do against this deck is they're gonna target Vivillon, and then if you don't have Vivillon, you cannot play. You're not gonna be able to put 4 energies on this guy in time to do shit. And if you were to put 4 energies on this thing just to do 240, it's terrible damage anyway. So we need Vivillon. No other way around it. So we need a thick line for that. And that's it. This is the Decidueye deck, guys. I'll show you guys some matches as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What